أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Jazakallah, Sadr Sahab and Majlis Ansarullah for asking me to come in here. As Sadr Sahib, before I go there, I just wonder whether this rain and inclement weather giving us a signal or a hint that Ansar should make their own hall. Does anybody get the idea yet or not? With the office complex and guest house. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih desires most of the majalis to have their own guest houses. And if you have a 5,000 capacity hall, we would be enjoying that rather than sitting here. But anyway, it's an idea I thought I'd pass by. Maybe increase your budget by tenfold, and we'll be able to do it. And Jama'at, I think, would be happy to find a land close by for you. Of course, we charge for it. As has been mentioned, for the last couple of years, I have been talking about Wasiyyat. And last year, I had feeling there was some rumbling or some unease by some individuals that I'm talking too much about it. So much so that even I heard a missionary comments indirectly that Ameer Sahib is giving too much importance or to this chanda or wasiyyat, and it was not definitely a compliment, which I really don't care. But the reason I was talking about it was that it was the desire and wish of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, which he expressed in 2004. And he desired that 50% of all earning members across Jama'at Ahmadiyya all over the world join this blessed scheme. And I thought it was part of my duty to convey that message, nothing more, nothing else. I don't think I came across any harsh to convey that message, but some people might have taken that way. So Sadr Sahib, to relieve your membership, I wouldn't talk much about it today. But that doesn't mean that we would not respect or follow up Khalifatul Masih desire or his wish. But if you allow me, Sadr Sahib, I do want to share with you the number. At the end of 2017, total earning Ansar Musi was 31.41%. and end of 2018, it is 32.64%. So we have increased 1%. But I applaud those, as Hazrat Sahib has just mentioned, that last year and year before, there was a significant jump in the number of Wasiyyat, people who joined Wasiyyat, and then also reflected in different Jama'at chandas as you transfer from Chanda Aam to Chanda Wasiyyat. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, as you all know, was mentioned in the beginning of the Ijtema, is coming to United States, visiting United States. And we all are very happy about it and preparing it physically and looking forward to Hazur's arrival here. But behind all that preparation and excitement, we have to think about it, our real responsibilities. We all claim to love Khalifatul Masih and claim to have a bond to Khilafat-e-Ahmadiyya. But to what extent and what level and what kind that love or commitment we have, each one of us has to ask his own self and answer that question. Actually, Hazrat Sahib visits us every Friday in our homes, in our mosques, through Friday sermon. But his last physical visit to United States of America on the East Coast was 2012, when he addressed Jalsa Salana. Most of us might be there, and then he came back. 2013 in West Coast, and some of us, was blessed to join him there. The question we have to ask as Ansar, is there any change in our lives in the last 6 years since he visited us last? Did our participation in regular salat has increased? Did our participation in Lazmi Chandajat has improved? Or ourselves and our children are better off spiritually and morally? Do we have less Ahmadis going out and marrying non-Ahmadis or converts just for the sake of marriage? If the answer is yes, that yes, we have improved, then great. But again, each one of us has to answer for ourselves, for our family, and for our Jama'at. Personally, unfortunately, and sadly, if I have to speak for myself, the answer is not affirmative. Yes, we have increased percentage of our budget. Yes, we have a little jump each time Secretary Tarbiyat calls us for Salat Ashra. Yes, we have Tahir Academy. But just look around. And please tell me that I'm not that pessimist, that things are better than I think. But that assessment has to be realistic, has to be backed up by numbers. A wishful thinking does not help nations to advance. Organizations don't flourish because we just dream about it. %, when I go to talk to Khuddam, some of us are parents of Khuddam, and I just ask them, when there is no Ansar there, when there is no parents there, they are blaming their parents. For the problems in Khuddam. When I take just a general assessment about it, 30% say that they do prayers, 5 prayers. I'm not talking about congregational prayers, not talking about coming to mosque. Just simple, mandatory 5 prayers. And from West Coast to East Coast, I have a chance now, over the last few years, to ask many Khuddam al-Ahmadiyya's organization, and the answer is consistent, 30%. It's not raising hand, I don't know, it's just their feeling within their Jama'at that their friends themselves, how many attended. Now we all work, we all have businesses or employed or work in an organization. I have a simple question. Any of our organization would succeed with 30% efficiency or sticking to the rules and regulations of that particular organization? If the answer is yes, great, we are doing great. If the answer is no, then it's much to reflect upon. Feel good, I mean, it's good sometimes. You don't need to feel good, you need to go into permanent depression, but have to be realist. So coming back to Huzur visits, we have to have this opportunity to see how we can improve. Most of us who have never met Huzur are going to be given an opportunity to meet Huzur, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Asr Aziz. For lack of time, we are forced to only allow those people to have mulaqat who never met Huzur, never, ever, or any Khalifatul Masih. That includes many people from Pakistan who just migrated to United States, new converts, etc. But many of us who had the opportunity in the past to go to Huzur, and we like to have a picture taken with Huzur. And that picture is in our drawing room or in family rooms or our living rooms. And we proudly show standing by the side of Khalifatul Masih. But do we really stand by his side? Do we really obey the way Khalifatul Masih should be obeyed? Or we are selective in our obedience? We like to obey those commands which we like it. and we kind of gloss over or ignore, probably a little harsher word, or not pay attention to those advice and commandments and directions that we don't feel like it. This is not obedience. This may be a self-satisfaction that we are obedient, but it's not. So, again, as was said by Sadr Sahib in the inaugural welcoming address, that Khalifatul Masih has many times asked us to take our jaiza, to review our spiritual and moral condition, self-critique. And that is being said over and over and over again by Khalifatul Masih because he is sensing and seeing something which is lacking in us. He wouldn't be saying it if he sees that everything is perfect. And you just heard, he's asking 100% performance by Ansar. So don't you think there is a conflict between our actions and our words? There is a harsher word in language for that, but I would say it is because we are not really paying attention as we should be. So I would respectfully urge you, urge all of us, myself, that as we are ready to welcome Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, whether we meet him in person, whether we have an opportunity to pray behind him, where he would be, but just his presence in our country should make us realize our responsibilities. The time of talk and feel good is long gone. We cannot afford it as an organization, as Jama'at Ahmadiyya. We have a lot of things to worry about, to figure it out, to work on it. So I would just again request that as we prepare physically for Khalifatul Masih, we should also prepare our hearts for his arrival, with at least a desire that we will change and we will look ourselves and follow his directives, his advice. Otherwise, it's just 15 minutes feeling good situation is not very productive and never is, will be. So with that, I again Jazakallah for your invitation, and we will pray now. Okay. Attendance is 1352, mashallah. But again, these are the numbers. 1352 physical bodies. How many are truly, out of these 352, who understand and have comprehension of Khilafat? If we have a true understanding of Khilafat, we will not be having this conversation today here. There is no need to. Khalifatul Masih's direct sermon comes it here, we follow, period. We're not talking 30%, 40%, 49% situation. So that is the thing is, we need to understand what Khilafat is. Once we understand that the true status of Khilafat and status of Khalifatul Masih, then a lot of things become easier for us to follow. At this time, Khalifatul Masih is the only individual closest to God, second to none. God chose himself to be in that position, to be a successor of the Prophet of the time. So that is, his words coming out of his mouth is representing the teachings of Ahmadiyya, the teaching of Islam, and eventually the Word of God. So it's important again that we have, as Khalifatul Masih said many times, have a self-criticism, self-critique, and try to reform ourselves. Especially, he has, as you have been, if you're reading it, from Tarbiyah Department, Spiritual Fitness, Hazur's references for office holders. Many of us are here office holders. What are our responsibilities? So far, over 100 references in last 15 years, if I'm correct, has been given in different sermons and speeches by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, urging us, exhorting us to change our behavior as office holders, be it national amla, local amla, auxiliary office holders. Every one of us has to be a model. We cannot just say, just because, take the responsibility, take the title and not the responsibility. So again, Jazakallah.
रोशनी का सफर